Hi everyone. In this video, we're going to look at how we're going to finish our discussion on externalities and look at how can we solve our market failures without getting the government involved. What we'll see is exactly how we can do that with no government intervention, how we can privately resolve these externalities. So the theorem that comes into play here is this what's called the Coast Theorem, and what we were saying is and we have this assumption. If private parties can bargain with no cost over allocation resources, and we don't have stubbornness and all that stuff, we can very easily solve the problem of externalities on our own. What we'll end up seeing is wherever the initial distribution of rights goes, we will be able to make a bargain and we'll become better off, and our outcome will be efficient. So to show this, what we're going to do is say that we have a dog, and the dog's name is Spot, and we have Dick and Jane. So the first assumption is that Dick has, and we're going to look at both assumptions of rights. So the first being that Dick has the right to keep the dog. The second being that Jane has the right to quiet and not having to hear the dog. So in this first case, we say Dick has the legal right to keep his dog, right? It doesn't matter that it barks. It's his dog. He gets to keep the dog. And in the first scenario, we're going to say Dick has a $500 benefit from the dog, while Jane bears an $800 from the cost from the barking. Or we might say she values her quiet at $800. So in this situation, our efficient outcome is that the dog goes and Jane gets her quiet because she values quiet more than Dick values the dog. So in this case, what we might see happen is Jane's going to offer Dick $600 to get rid of the dog, in which Dick will accept because $600 is better than that $500 benefit. So he'll get rid of Spot and both become better off. Jane actually has the benefit of $200 because 800 and 600. She gets that quiet, which she values at 800 for only 600. Whereas Dick gets an extra $100 because he only values the dog $500, but he gets $600 to get rid of it. So in this case, both are better off. In the second scenario, we see that Dick has the right to keep the dog, and again, he has the right to keep the dog. But in this case, Dick has a larger advantage. Dick benefits from having the dog more than Jane would benefit from quiet. So in this case, what we're going to see is Dick will not accept any offer below $1,000 to get rid of the dog, but Jane won't pay for anything more than $800 for her quiet. So in this case, we'll actually see that Dick gets to keep his dog because Jane can't pay him enough to get rid of Spot. So in this case, he keeps his dog. No, nothing's met. But again, we're in our socially optimal spot because Dick values the dog more than Jane values the quiet. So socially, we're in our optimal position. The third case is that Jane has the right to quiet, so she can just tell Dick, you have to get rid of the dog, and then the dog goes. Right, so in this case, in the first case of this assumption of rights, we're going to say that Dick has an $800 benefit from the dog, and Jane has a $500 cost. In this instance, since Dick values the dog more than Jane values quiet, again, Dick should get to keep the dog because that's socially optimal. And what he might do is pay Jane $600 to say, hey, put up with the barking, here's $600 a month, have fun. Right? In which case, Jane will accept because she values the quiet at $500, but she gets $600. So she's $100 better off, and Dick is $200 better off because he values the dog at $800, but only has to pay $600 to keep the dog. So again, we have that socially optimal outcome. And then a fourth case would be similar to the second one. If we had a fourth case where the value for Jane was $1,000, Jane would just tell the dog to go. Dick might offer $800, and then Jane would decline it because she values the dog at $1,000. So this should finish up our discussion on externalities. as you're looking through, if you need anything, feel free to let me know. Have a good day.